This is Roland Frost, Kona astrologer. I got some interesting things to share, but business comes first. I want to get into the next 10 days for you because you've got some really interesting themes going on, huh? First of all, there was a full moon on July 19th let's see. Yeah, that's right on the USA Pluto, which in the government chart, the 1776 chart, is an employee that opposes Mercury, the ruler of the chart. And so this full moon makes the Pluto in the US chart go lunatic-like, and that's what you're seeing on television. Then we had the new moon, 13 Cancer, on the 4th of July. That new moon opposed Pluto in the sky itself in the chart of now. And everybody is ticked off at Pluto. Pluto, if you haven't figured it out, is policeman for most of us. So we got a double kind of a whammy on policeman. I'm concerned about Uranus because that full moon on the 19th squared Uranus. Uranus is the guy that does bzzz, goes around and limps a little bit, comes up suddenly, knocks out your power. Yeah, he's the ruler of hurricanes. And that's what I'm concerned with right now in Hawaii a little bit, is that we've got a hurricane situation. Well, hurricane, maybe I should just say really strong wind, because the ocean's still kind of cold. Nevertheless, Uranus goes stationary on the 29th. Yeah, if you're watching a Thursday show, tomorrow at 11:07 a.m., Uranus stops in the sky and goes backwards. Well, when it slows down, it's slower, stronger, more hurricanes, more earthquakes. Stops. That's the peak of it. And everybody feels alone and quaky. Yeah, and then it goes backwards and it speeds up. As it speeds up, it loses power. So there's a little window here, and I always say you want the complete window, you go back 20 days and it comes up like the bell-shaped curve, yeah? Anyway, that's your situation. The astrocartography says high winds are going to hit Kauai especially. Yeah. You've got another full moon coming up that'll take some of the pressure off the police. And because it trines Saturn, the politicians are all going to, be on stage, and you're going to have a month of politics. Interesting, it makes a quincux, and it's a better call it a seesaw to Neptune. So you're going to see some politicians giving up Neptune, sacrificing Neptune. Maybe they'll give up alcohol. Maybe they'll give up supporting oil companies. Maybe they'll say too much attention on LBGT stuff. Let's give up these religious privileged people issues and stick to what's important. That's what I'd like to see anyway. Okay, here it is. The sky mirror. There's Uranus. He's written very large because he's very large in your consciousness. Yes. And what he's saying is, wake up. Take a different viewpoint. Change your viewpoint. Change your attitude. Be a rebel. Don't accept what everybody has been saying all this time, because they're saying things to support their platform, whether it's the professor in your school that gave you the bum steer on history, whether it's the preacher in his pulpit that wants you to call him father, whether it's the politician who tells you he's going to do all these amazing things and does nothing. Yeah. Whether it's the policeman with a gun on his belt saying he's going to protect you. No, he's going to protect himself. Anyway, there's an awful lot of this hypocrisy in our society. The institutions are set up on it and they breed it. So it's a tough time. But the main thing is to wake up and start seeing it. And Uranus wakes you up suddenly. Ka-bang! The power goes out. The classic is, wow, you're sitting there all alone with no power, no TV, no internet. What do? Well, you got to eat all that meat in the freezer. Why don't you go out and meet your neighbors? Uranus creates neighborliness. It creates brotherhood. When people, when all the electricity goes out, stoplights go out, How do you drive out there without stop signals? When the signals aren't there, these electric signals, it was much better. Yeah, that's an unusual attitude, huh? Well, this is a time to take an unusual attitude. And, I'm a safety engineer, and I've investigated accidents all my life, and I tell you that the electric stop signals make accidents. They don't stop accidents. They make more accidents. As people drive towards them, they're watching the lights. They're not watching pedestrians. They're not watching each other. Their gaze is fixated on that light. In my training courses I used to give, we call them fresh reds, stale reds. Wire the light so when you go through the intersection, you're not looking at the light. Anyway, small bit of safety on the road. I tell you that an alternate attitude and a different look at things will make you safer. Yes, safer, believe it or not. You still got the Saturn-Neptune square going on, 10 to 11 degrees. Oh boy, that's tight. I don't know how these bureaucrats, politicians, managers, all these guys in the suits, I don't know how they're functioning with this going on. Just pretend they're all drunk. Yeah. What else we got going on? Well, let's see. The sun is trining Saturn. There's a new moon coming up on Tuesday, and it trines Saturn, and everybody's going to go over to the Republican side for a month and say, we need laws. Yeah, we need laws. Okay, go put up more laws. Go put up more signs about the speed limit on the highway. You know what happens? People are looking at signs, not themselves. It makes the road less safe. You don't need speed limits. No. You'll drive the safe speed no matter what. Okay, I'll get off my preaching. I can't help it. The safety side of me gets in the way when I see the things going on here. Let's see what's going on for you for the next 10 days. I got the chart here. If you're watching the Thursday night show, well, the moon's in Gemini. You're having a pretty good Thursday night with a nice sextile to the sun. But look out, Friday morning, here's the opposition to Saturn and square to Neptune. What? All the laws have gone crazy. The politicians are all drunk. The guy in the Philippines is killing anybody that has to do with drugs in any way. He's gone insane. He's murdering. Politicians are not trustworthy. Neither are managers. Neither anybody wearing a suit and a tie is a Saturn person, and they don't know what the hell's going on. And you're going to see it Friday morning. Be very confused. Stay in bed late. Expect strange things. A lot of deception. Friday night, the moon's still in Gemini. There's a sextile to Venus. You could get some loving in here. It's a square to Jupiter, though. Too much laughing and loudness. When you get to be late, midnight, 1 a.m., here's a sextile to Uranus. Brotherhood is going along. Not too bad. Friday night. Continues through Saturday morning. In the middle of the day, here's a nice sextile to Mercury. Kids are happy. Altogether, pretty good Friday night, Saturday morning. It's just that Friday morning, boy, that can spoil you. Too much water, too much confusion. Or not enough. Probably not enough water at this point. Well, moon shifts into Cancer Saturday afternoon. It all feels differently. On Sunday morning, the moon hits that last new moon point, the one at 13 Cancer. And there's a trine to Neptune. And this is a really good time to go for religion and art and music. And, I don't necessarily mean going and sitting in a corporate church. No, I'd go sit under a tree and talk to birds and butterflies, and more on that in a little bit. There is a real religion. There is a real God. It's just not what the corporate churches are telling you. Okay, enough. Shut up, Frost. And Sunday, here's the moon opposing Pluto. And so kind of Sunday is a time when you wish somebody wouldn't talk too much. And here's the police problem again. Moon's opposing Pluto in the sky. It's got set off by that 13 Cancer new moon. And this is the return of it. The moon went all the way around the chart, came back to 13 Cancer again, and opposed Pluto. And you're going to choke on all the choking. That's a joke. Pluto chokes you. Cops used to choke you, you know. Yeah, I had to do with stopping that. But here's more of this Pluto stuff, and you can feel radical and protective and territorial. Where's my gun? Anyway, Monday, the moon's still in Cancer, so you're still going to feel kind of radical. And as it comes up to, brunch time here just before lunch, here's a square to Uranus. Now, Uranus is the planet that's really acting up. I mean, he's ready to shake and rock and roll, and you're on the last part of a period of time when you probably have seen some high winds and some shakings. But if you haven't seen it, if the wind hasn't knocked a few poles down on Kauai, well, here's another chance. Here's another windy Monday. There's a full moon, the old full moon point here in the afternoon, and a square to Uranus in the front of it. You might get up Monday morning and find out your power's out and the internet's gone and your clock stopped and you're late. Well, I don't use clocks that are electrical for that reason, especially alarm clocks. Tuesday morning, the moon shifted into Leo. All the vibes change. I hope the emergency of Monday didn't upset you too much. If you're prepared, you know, little brotherhood might do some good. The new moon set in the morning here, and it's a pretty good new moon in Leo trining Saturn. It's a time to get organized, you know. You got a month now to use the power of Saturn to make your plans solidify. Saturn like pours cement. He solidifies things. He crystallizes things. Here's an opportunity to do that. It sacrifices Neptune. Don't listen to the preacher or the doctor, or, you know, ignore all those ideals and smoke and mirrors. Probably not too good for the drug war. Well, anyway, new moon. Tell those politicians to behave and get their business done. And then when you get to Wednesday, the moon's still in Leo, and you're kind of in the Venus zone here. There's a nice trine to Uranus, and brotherhood and common sense come on board Wednesday evening. And with Venus there, you know, it's a day of being loving and brotherhood going, and you should see some flowers and butterflies and pretty birds and things here on Wednesday. It's quite nice. Thursday, the moon shifted into Virgo, and things are being kind of mercurial. On Thursday, the moon goes by Mercury. Unfortunately, here's the square to Saturn and Neptune. Comes up on Thursday. And you're going to feel it Thursday afternoon and evening. Starts with the square to Saturn, and everything's delayed. And somebody made a rule or a regulation, and I'm supposed to follow it. And then there's the opposition to Neptune. I can't believe that. Should just tell politicians and managers to stay home while this is going on. There's decisive information comes out early Friday morning, 2-3 o'clock in the morning, with a nice trine to Pluto, and maybe you get some truth about the police. Some truth will come out on Friday afternoon. The moon goes by Jupiter, Jove, shock, lightning bolts of truth, flash, bang. Quite nice. Yeah, there's a pretty good Friday. Saturday morning, the moon goes into Libra, and it makes a sextile to Mars. Good time to get up and do some chores, get out and exercise, get out and do some physical things, heat up your muscles, be a hero. Saturday's a good time for it. Get the job done. You'll be very organized on Sunday. It starts early with a nice sextile to Saturn. Oh, my plan, I'm going to do it. And then there's a sextile to the sun, and you're doing it. And then 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, the moon squares Pluto, and you ran into the bee's nest or the hornets or something stopped you. Whoop, there's a man over there with a gun. Yeah, look out. And what's going on? He's telling me I gotta behave. Monday morning, here's the moon opposing Uranus. Here's shaking and quaking and tornadoes and all that stuff too. I mean, you're only like 8 days away from the station. So Uranus is acting up here. You know, it acts up here. And again, if you haven't had the problems of high winds in Hawaii by now, well, it's not too late. You can still have a few. But you can see that when they're coming up here, when Uranus is hitting Mondays, working its way back into Saturdays, or into Sundays. Goes backwards.